The Wonder Woman Mythic Upgrade mission is finally available in DC Dark Legion, and I want to give you a little bit of gameplay footage of the actual mission. But first, we're going to take a look at some other updates that came with the patch notes today. So the first thing is we're going to have a new event. It's going to be called Treasures of the Ocean. It will be available June 15th, and it's going to work not quite the same, it appears, as the Mother's Day or Valentine's Day events, but it's going to be quite similar in terms of probably the actual items or prizes that you can acquire. So it says wield tidal blades and explore the sunken ruins of Atlantis. You'll be opening shells on each level to uncover hidden treasures. And if you find the grand prize of a level, you can claim all the remaining rewards for that level. So seems like, I don't know if it's going to be an exploration type event or if it's going to be another type of game board similar to the Mother's Day one. But I'm really excited to see this new event come into the game. This update today is going to patch in everything so that when you open the game on the 15th, you should have the event available. You will have a similar mechanic to Mother's Day where you were sending flowers to friends. You'll be able to do that with seashells for this one. And so when you send one or receive one, you'll be getting a sunken chest, and you'll get some, probably the basically the equivalent of vouchers and other items as well. We're going to talk about gear transmutation in a moment. First, we'll talk about some of the other minor improvements and fixes. Due to popular demand, they have made it where level resets are now available from levels 300 to 579. You will have to spend gems to do these resets, but really nice for newer players especially, but also longer time players who haven't quite gotten to the prior max level, which was 580. Really great to see that they're adding this for people who kind of want to shift the focus of what their top 5 champions are. It really doesn't matter too much after level 580 because you're kind of like leveling all of your champions up at the same time from 580 to 610. But definitely worth looking into this if you are below 580. The other big change is related to Darkest Timeline. So there used to be this tag restriction retrocog, so negative retrocognition, and it happens more frequently on the boss level at the end of each rung of the Darkest Timeline, but it can also happen on some of the other nodes as well, where basically it says you can't use any Arkham's Most Wanted champions for the next 3 turns. They have changed that to where it's only going to be a specific number of those champions you can't use. So instead of the entire team, it will say something like you're only allowed to use 2 Justice League champions for the next couple of battles. So it's definitely fixing some of the RNG that may completely derail some of your runs. I'm hoping that we'll see some people able to complete at least up to level 5, difficulty level 5, without having this be something that causes them to have to start over. Difficulty tier 6 and 7, even if you're able to play around this specific aspect, you're still going to lose more often than you win. But really good change here. And then it says that they've improved the overall experience of Strategic Challenge. We have talked about 3v3 in some prior videos that I've made. I'm curious exactly what they have changed here. We'll find out in a couple of days over the weekend. And if it's anything significant, I'll definitely come back next week and we'll talk about some of those changes. It did do some other general bug fixes. I see one here where they fixed an issue that caused vehicles to be unusable. It doesn't say what game mode that was in. I know we've been having some issues in Guardian Challenge and Great Krypton Rush where you use a vehicle to do an attack and then you just kind of go into the void. But I know they're looking at trying to fix that and they can't figure out exactly what's causing it. Curious what this one is. So let me know in the comments down below if you know exactly what issue they fixed here, but I assume that's one that people will be happy about. Moving into gear transmutation changes, there is a new feature called engraving. Essentially what the update information says is engraving adds a faction tag to transmuted gear that doesn't have one, consuming the gear that hasn't been transmuted and already has a faction tag. It says that the target and material gear must be of the same type and slot, and that engraving costs source energy gems. And then transmutable attributes and set bonuses are now displayed. Okay, so jumping over into our champion screen, if we go into one of the champions and go to their gear, we can click the transmute button, and it gets us to a page with all of our gear in it. Now, I just read some of the basic rules for engraving over to you, but I'll try to explain it to you as well. We're going to go down to the bottom where we have some gear pieces that have not been added to any champions yet. Now, what you're going to have to do is you're going to pick two pieces of gear that are both level 500 that fit the same slot. So we've got two pieces of chest piece gear here. We have one with a Legion of Doom tag, one that does not have the tag. We click into these. We have Legion of Doom chest piece that fits the DPS champions. And then if we go over to this other one, chess piece that's not tag affiliated that fits the DPS champions. Now, both of these are untransmuted. Based on the rules that I read out to you, the gear piece that needs to not have a transmute on it is the one that has the faction tag. So this piece with the Legion of Doom faction tag, we do not want to transmute. What we do want to transmute is this level 500 gear piece without the faction tag. So we will go into it. We're going to hit transmute. There, you'll see up here an engraving option that will show up. We're going to transmute, and then we hit confirm. Now, it doesn't show up here on this screen because the piece is not equipped to the champion. I don't know why they're doing it this way, but maybe they'll fix it down the road. But as of right now, you have to equip the gear piece to the champion in order for this to work. So what we'll have to do is back out of here, and we're going to go to our Sinestro, who's Legion of Doom, and we will replace this. We need to find the one that I think it's this one right here. So we're going to equip that, and immediately you will see that we know we have all the ingredients to be able to engrave. What will happen is this little tag plus icon is going to appear beside the gear piece, letting you know that you have met all of the requirements to be able to engrave that piece. And I can show you what it looks like when you don't have those requirements met. If we go to Martian Manhunter, if you click on this leg piece, go to transmute, you can see that there's an engrave option. But if you click on that engrave option and you select this, there's not a piece of tag synergy gear that we can use to engrave this gear piece. So you have to have all the conditions met to be able to engrave. Now, if we back out, we can go over to Sinestro, click on gear, and we will select this one. You're going to transmute, go to engrave, and then you can select that piece of Legion of Doom gear that we talked about and engrave. Now, it is going to cost 300 gems. Let's go ahead and do that. And now we have a tag synergy gear piece with those transmutes on it. Now, there's a couple of things to consider here. First of all, I think that this system is very, very niche or edge case use. Typically, it's going to be for a whale who just was very impatient and put a bunch of transmutes onto a piece of gear that didn't have a tag synergy so they could push some content. It will allow you to basically make that piece of gear where you actually want to use it rather than it just sitting in your inventory. And then the other edge use would be for a non-spender or a light spender who has over invested into a gear piece that's going to eventually fall by the wayside. Very similar to the whale use case, but it's really kind of the same thing. Like if you've over invested into a piece that doesn't have a tag synergy, this will allow you to fix that. Otherwise, I would say you're probably never going to use the feature. It's way too expensive and it's way too niche to be used. And now for sort of the main event for this update, the new adventure called Trial of Olympus. This adventure can be unlocked by completing the main story on Themyscira and upgrading your war room to level 25. That's 25, not 35. So a lot of people are going to get access to this fairly soon in their accounts. And you'll be exploring the map freely, so you can you don't have to follow a set path. And there's a pretty nice little storyline for you. You'll be playing as Wonder Woman, so you have to use her in the battles that you do. And you kind of get some various different rewards for doing that. And we'll take a look at it in just a second. Now, the big draw for this event is you're going to eventually be able to ascend your Wonder Woman to mythic rarity, right? When you start playing the game, she's going to be legendary. you can upgrade her to a 10 shard mythic, and you'll do that by earning an item called Pearl of Wisdom, which you'll get from completing this event. Now, a couple of things to mention for you here. You will have to have your Wonder Woman at 5 red stars in order to use the Pearl of Wisdom. And when you do that, it's going to turn Wonder Woman into a 5 blue star 10 shard mythic. So you will have to further upgrade her to get her to 5 red stars as a mythic champion. And you'll be able to do that by using shards that are available to you in the Meta Brawl store. I'm sure they'll open up additional avenues for getting those in the future, but for right now, just in the Meta Brawl store. Now, some people have complained in the general chat on the official Discord server about how there were comments that you probably won't be losing stars. I think those were misconstrued to an extent, but I think the general gist of what Helen was trying to say was that you aren't going to be you're not going to have to start over from zero, and the idea is that there's going to be parity between whatever level you had Wonder Woman at, which is 5 red stars legendary, and whatever they put her at as a mythic. So I think we can make the logical assumption that that they're equating 5 blue stars on a 10 shard mythic to 5 red stars on a legendary, and I'm okay with that. As long as the stat scaling is similar, substantially similar, I think it's going to be fine, because as you upgrade her, like even just taking her to 1 purple star is going to be a considerable upgrade over her as a legendary. Now, the one minor, I think you could argue, nerf is they've changed one of the force talents from allowing you to increase the stun duration on her basic skill, Lasso of Truth, from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. You'll still get the stun. They're not taking the stun away. They're just making the duration a little bit shorter if you have her full force maxed. They're replacing that with the ability to increase her defense. So kind of a slight nerf there, but I think overall Wonder Woman is going to be much better. Like, she will definitely be buffed by this change, and I'm okay with it. I hate that I'm going to have to go through those star levels again with her, but I do think that giving us a 5 red star mythic champion would be a crazy power creep from the 5 red star legendary. So anyway, just wanted to point that out. Moving over to the event, you can see they have this nice little graphic here. I have completed 39% of the main quest. I was going to show you kind of a let's play playthrough of the event, but it's really a kind of a basic rundown of these types of events. It works similar to the normal story mode. You just have free exploration, and you can kind of go around and pick things, and there's a couple of quest items that you have to obtain by exploring the entire map and then coming back to wherever you're at. So they do kind of, they're not pigeonholing you into this is the line you have to take. They're just saying in order to get to the next level, you got to kind of beat all the little side quests. The rewards that you're going to get, I was confused by this at first, but the 90 shards, the 90 legendary shards appears to be a static amount that you're going to get by if you complete everything in the mission. You will get a total of 90 legendary shards. You're not going to be getting like random amounts. You should be getting exactly 90. You're also going to be getting a few AC/DC shards, and they have this item here, Amazonian Honor. We'll talk about that. I thought maybe it was something you could exchange for prizes, but it's actually just a quest mechanic. And then there's the Pearl of Wisdom here, which is going to allow you to do the upgrade. But if we click the information icon, it says that you complete all quests in Trial of Olympus to earn the Pearl of Wisdom and use it to ascend Max Star Wonder Woman to Mythic Rarity. Use the joystick to explore, and then complete main and side quests on the event map to earn Amazonian Honor, which is that resource we just looked at, which is essential for starting artifact trials and sealing Doom's Doorway. So I'll show you Doom's Doorway on the map in just a second, but basically explore as much as you can and complete quests to boost your honor. So if we enter into the game mode, here is the Doom's Doorway, but you can see you can move around the map freely, and in these little nooks and crannies there's going to be bosses that you can fight, bosses that you can immediately kill by clicking a certain button, kind of like sneak up on them. There's also going to be some little chests that will appear on the map too, so that you can obtain those, and those are part of the mechanic to be able to get you some of those additional Wonder Woman shards. This was a mechanic where once you completed a certain part of the previous exploration, you have to get these little runes on the ground, and then you access Doom's doorway. You can see that there is a timer here. So you go down to the bottom of the map around here, and there is another, I think it's like the Senate chamber, if I can get to it. Yep, here's the Senate chamber. So there's a couple of battles that you have to do here, and you have to get some salve and save some people. And once you do all that and go through all of the dialogue, it gives you a key, and you take that key back up here to Doom's doorway, and Doom's doorway will kind of give you this 24-hour cooldown. That happens at 39%. So I've fully completed all the missions up to this point. So you basically wait the 24-hour period. It will reinforce the seal with Hera's scepter that we got from the previous quest, and then presumably we'll be able to move on with the quest line. I'll probably save you the burden of watching me do that, since most of you will be able to just do it yourself. But I'm assuming that there will probably be another time gating mechanic whenever we hit this 24 hours and do the next part of the quest line. I don't know how long that's going to be, but it may be sometime this weekend before anyone has their Wonder Woman to mythic level. I do have a 5 red star, or my Wonder Woman is ready to go to 5 red stars tonight at reset. So I will be ready to take her to mythic rarity as soon as this is over with. And I have a decent Justice League Dark team, so I'm really looking forward to doing a little bit of testing, kind of pre and post upgrade. Maybe I can work on doing some CC battles with the team with a legendary version of Wonder Woman, and then I can record a few battles after that, and it may give us a decent idea of what she's capable of pre and post. So looking forward to giving you a little bit more information about that. I'm sorry that my footage was corrupted so that you can't see the actual playthrough, but I probably would have bored you to death anyway. Pretty simple mechanics, basic map exploration. It is really fun, and I think the map looks really good as well. It kind of has some of those AFK Journey vibes to it. They've definitely upgraded the graphics from the way it used to look just a few months ago. So that's going to do it for this update video. A little bit unorthodox, but I'm actually really excited about the Wonder Woman upgrade. I'm glad that they dropped this event. I hate the time gating element of it, but it is what it is. Not super excited about the engraving mechanic at all. I do appreciate that there are some people who will get some use out of it. I will not be using it on my account. I'll just continue to spend alloy and try to fish for better gear in the first place, rather than spending mirror cells on non-tag synergy gear. Let me know what you think about this update. I'm curious to get some thoughts from you. I know there's been a little bit of a divide in the community on whether it's good or bad, but definitely appreciate some of these mid Mythic Plus updates where you're not getting a new bleed champion, but we are getting some updates to the game, and definitely appreciate all of the bug fixes and quality of life that the devs keep adding to the game. So I want to see more of that. Looking forward to talking to you in the next video. I do have a Justice League Dark, I should say Constantine PvP video that I teased in the Whaler Skip, and that one will be probably releasing tomorrow or the next day. And if I don't see you then maybe I'll see you next week.